What nationality was guitarist Django Reinhardt? Belgian. Django Reinhardt was a Belgian-born Romani-French jazz guitarist and composer, considered one of the most influential jazz musicians of all time. He is renowned for pioneering European jazz and developing gypsy jazz with his band, the Quintet du Hot Club de France. What type of plastic was made from phenol and formaldehyde? Bakelite. Bakelite is an early plastic synthesized from the reaction of phenol and formaldehyde, first developed by Leo Baekeland in 1907. It was the first fully synthetic plastic and a thermosetting resin, prized for its durability, heat resistance, and electrical insulating properties. In which country is the city of Stavanger? Norway. Stavanger is a major city and municipality located in southwestern Norway. It is widely recognized as the oil capital of Norway, due to its pivotal role in the country's offshore oil and gas industry. Which London bridge designed by John Rennie was opened in 1817? Waterloo. John Rennie the Elder designed the Waterloo Bridge, which opened in 1817. This bridge was significant for its advanced engineering for the time and its role in connecting areas of London. It was later replaced by the current Waterloo Bridge, which opened in 1942. What is the common name for solid carbon dioxide? Dry ice. Dry ice is the solid form of carbon dioxide. It is known for its extremely cold temperature, -78.5 degrees Celsius or -109.3 degrees Fahrenheit, and its ability to sublime, transitioning directly from solid to gas. This property makes it useful for refrigeration and creating fog effects. In which European city is the San Vittori Women's Prison? Milan. The San Vittori Prison is a major correctional facility located in Milan, Italy. Established in 1879, it is one of the oldest and most well-known prisons in the country, playing a role in various historical events, particularly during World War II. A detrusor is a muscle which forms a layer on the wall of which part of the human body? Bladder. The detrusor muscle is a smooth muscle found in the wall of the urinary bladder. Its contraction plays a crucial role in expelling urine from the bladder during urination, while its relaxation allows the bladder to fill with urine. The July Revolution in 1830 was in which European country? France. The July Revolution of 1830, also known as the Second French Revolution, occurred in France. It led to the overthrow of King Charles X, the Bourbon monarch, and the ascent of his cousin Louis Philippe to the throne, marking the beginning of the July monarchy. Which English poet died of tuberculosis in Rome in 1821? John Keats. John Keats, a prominent English romantic poet, died in Rome in 1821 at the young age of 25 due to tuberculosis. His works, including Ode to a Nightingale and Endymion, are celebrated for their sensual imagery and philosophical depth, making him one of the most influential figures in English literature. What is the name of the strait between mainland Australia and Tasmania? Bass Strait. The Bass Strait is a sea strait separating the island of Tasmania from the southern coast of the Australian mainland, specifically the state of Victoria. It was named after George Bass, a naval surgeon and explorer who first traversed it in 1798, confirming Tasmania's island status. What were the first names of English novelist H. E. Bates? Herbert Ernest. H. E. Bates, a celebrated English novelist and short story writer, was born Herbert Ernest Bates. He is particularly known for his vivid descriptions of rural life, his war stories, and his popular Lurkins series, which was adapted into The Darling Buds of May. Braxy is a fatal bacterial infection in which animal? Sheep. Braxy is an acute, fatal bacterial disease primarily affecting sheep, particularly young lambs, caused by Clostridium septicum. It leads to severe inflammation of the abomasum, fourth stomach, and is often associated with the ingestion of frozen or frosted pasture. What type of plant is a cholla? Cactus. Cholla refers to a group of cacti within the genus Cylindropuntia, native to the Americas. These plants are characterized by their segmented stems and formidable spines, adapted to arid and semi-arid environments. Which nation was formerly called British Honduras? Belize. Belize, a country on the eastern coast of Central America, was formerly known as British Honduras. It gained full independence from the United Kingdom on September 21, 1981, and is a member of the Commonwealth of Nations. The Ashmolean Museum is in which British city? Oxford. The Ashmolean Museum of Art and Archaeology, located in Oxford, England, is the world's first university museum. Established in 1683, it houses extensive collections spanning human civilization and the natural world, from prehistoric times to the present. A dobro is what type of musical instrument? Guitar. A dobro is a brand of resonator guitar, known for its distinctive metallic resonator cones that amplify the sound. It is commonly played in genres such as bluegrass, country, and blues, often using a slide. Mysophobia is the fear of what? Dirt. Mysophobia is an excessive and irrational fear of germs, dirt, or contamination, leading to compulsive hand washing, cleaning, and avoidance behaviors. It is classified as a specific phobia and can significantly impact an individual's daily life. What is the name of the panel used to shield a TV camera lens from direct light, or a microphone from unwanted noise? Gobo. A gobo is a physical stencil or template placed in front of a light source, or a panel used to block light or sound. In film and photography, gobos create patterns or effects with light, while in sound engineering, they prevent sound spill between microphones. What is the food okra commonly known as? Lady's fingers. Okra, scientifically known as Abelmuscus esculentus, is a flowering plant valued for its edible green seed pods. It is widely cultivated in tropical and subtropical regions and is commonly referred to as lady's fingers due to the shape of its pods. Under the British Coal Mines Act of 1911, what age did a pit pony have to be before going underground? 4. The British Coal Mines Act of 1911 introduced significant regulations for safety and working conditions in coal mines, including provisions for the welfare of pit ponies. One such regulation stipulated that a pit pony had to be at least 4 years old before it could be employed underground, aiming to protect younger animals from strenuous labor. What is Thailand's largest island? Phuket. Phuket is the largest island in Thailand and a major tourist destination, known for its beautiful beaches and vibrant culture. It is located in the Andaman Sea, approximately 863 kilometers south of Bangkok. Which UK Chancellor of the Exchequer famously stated, "The difference between tax avoidance and tax evasion is the thickness of a prison wall"? Denis Healey. Denis Healey, a prominent Labour politician, served as UK Chancellor of the Exchequer from 1974 to 1979. His quote vividly distinguishes between legal tax avoidance and illegal tax evasion, emphasizing the severe legal consequences of the latter. Where is the radius bone located in the human body? Forearm. The radius is one of the two major bones found in the human forearm, extending from the elbow to the wrist. It lies on the thumb side of the forearm and plays a crucial role in wrist and hand movements, particularly pronation and supination. What young creature, typically taken from the wild for training, is referred to as an eas? Hawk. An eas, also spelled eas, refers to a nestling or fledgling bird of prey, especially a hawk or falcon, that is taken from the nest for the purpose of falconry training. This term highlights a specific practice in ornithology and wildlife management. Which classic ice cream dessert is named after an Australian opera singer? Peach Melba. Peach Melba is a classic dessert made from peaches, raspberry sauce, and vanilla ice cream. It was created in 1892 or 1893 by French chef Auguste Escoffier at the Savoy Hotel, London, to honor the Australian opera singer Dame Nellie Melba. Lammas Day falls on the first day of which month? August. Lammas Day is a Christian holiday celebrated on August 1st, marking the annual wheat harvest. It is one of the 4 traditional Celtic seasonal festivals, signifying the first harvest of the year. What is the name of the platform or stand used to support a coffin? Catafalque. A catafalque is a raised platform or stand, often draped in black, used to support a coffin or the effigy of a deceased person during a funeral or memorial service. It is a common element in formal funeral rites and state funerals. What type of creature is a canvasback? Duck. A canvasback is a species of diving duck native to North America. It is distinguished by its large size, a long sloping profile from its forehead to its bill, and a reddish-brown head in males. Which country has the international registration code RA? Argentina. In international vehicle registration plates, RA is the distinguishing sign for Argentina. These codes are assigned under the Vienna Convention on Road Traffic to identify the country of registration for motor vehicles. Which prehistoric period followed the Stone Age and preceded the Iron Age? Bronze Age. The Bronze Age is a prehistoric period characterized by the widespread use of bronze, an alloy of copper and tin, for tools and weapons. It succeeded the Stone Age's reliance on stone tools and was eventually replaced by the Iron Age. What is the science of accurate time measurement called? Chronometry. Chronometry is the scientific study and art of accurate time measurement. This field involves the design, development, and application of precise timekeeping instruments such as chronometers and atomic clocks, crucial for various scientific and navigational purposes. President Anwar Sadat of Egypt and which Prime Minister were jointly awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1978? Menahem Begin. President Anwar Sadat of Egypt and Prime Minister Menahem Begin of Israel were jointly awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1978. They received the honor for their instrumental roles in negotiating and signing the Camp David Accords, a landmark peace treaty between their two nations. Jasper National Park is in which country? Canada. Jasper National Park is the largest national park in the Canadian Rockies, located in Alberta, Canada. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site renowned for its glaciers, lakes, mountains, and diverse wildlife. In which century was the Bank of England founded? 17th. The Bank of England was founded in 1694 by royal charter, primarily to raise funds for war with France. It is the central bank of the United Kingdom and serves as a model for many modern central banks worldwide. What is the fin on the back of a fish called? Dorsal. The dorsal fin is an unpaired fin located on the back of most aquatic vertebrates, including fish, cetaceans, and pinnipeds. Its primary function is to provide stability and aid in steering during swimming. The Duma is a legislative body in the political system of which country? Russia. The State Duma is the lower house of the Federal Assembly of Russia, the country's national legislature. It plays a crucial role in passing legislation, approving the government's budget, and ratifying international treaties. Pemia is the poisoning of what? Blood. Pemia is a form of septicemia characterized by the presence of pus-forming microorganisms in the blood. It often leads to the formation of multiple abscesses in various organs throughout the body, making it a severe and potentially life-threatening condition. What is the profession of the world-famous Annie Leibovitz? Photographer. Annie Leibovitz is an iconic American portrait photographer known for her dramatic and elaborate celebrity portraits. Her work has appeared in major magazines like Vanity Fair and Rolling Stone, often shaping public perception of her subjects. In which century was divorce legalized, by Act of Parliament, in England? 19th. Divorce was effectively legalized in England by the Matrimonial Causes Act of 1857, which established a civil court for divorce. Prior to this, divorce required a private act of parliament, making it prohibitively expensive and largely inaccessible to most people. Who was Henry VIII's fifth wife? Catherine Howard. Catherine Howard was Henry VIII's fifth wife, whom he married in 1540, shortly after annulling his marriage to Anne of Cleves. Her marriage to the king was brief, and she was executed for treason in 1542 due to allegations of premarital and extramarital affairs. Which British liner was torpedoed and sunk off the coast of Ireland in 1915? Lusitania. The RMS Lusitania was a British ocean liner sunk by a German U-boat on May 7, 1915, during World War I. The attack resulted in the loss of 1,198 lives, including 128 Americans, and significantly contributed to anti-German sentiment, influencing the United States' eventual entry into the war. What is the title of a British nobleman ranking above an earl and below a duke? Marquess. In the British peerage system, a marquess is a hereditary title of nobility, ranking below a duke and above an earl. This title, derived from a word meaning march or border territory, is one of the 5 ranks of the peerage, indicating a high social and historical standing. The Petrified Forest National Park is in which U.S. state? Arizona. Petrified Forest National Park is situated in northeastern Arizona, USA. It is internationally recognized for its extensive deposits of fossilized wood, predominantly from the late Triassic period, alongside its striking badlands topography and rich paleontological record. Coprophagia is the eating, by insects and certain animals, of what? Dung. Coprophagia is the scientific term for the consumption of feces. This biological behavior is observed across various animal species, including insects and mammals, and can serve purposes such as nutrient recycling, re-inoculation of gut flora, or as a food source in nutrient-poor environments. Which Native American Indian tribe bought the Hard Rock chain for a reputed $965 million in 2006? Seminoles. The Seminole tribe of Florida acquired the Hard Rock International Casino, Hotel, and Restaurant chain in 2006 for approximately $965 million. This landmark transaction showcased a significant economic diversification strategy and a major business venture by a Native American tribe in the global entertainment industry. Who was the first woman Speaker of the UK House of Commons? Betty Boothroyd. Betty Boothroyd was a significant figure in UK political history as the first woman to hold the office of Speaker of the House of Commons. She served from 1992 to 2000, presiding over parliamentary debates with fairness and impartiality. What are auctioned at Tattersall's? Horses. Tattersalls is the oldest bloodstock auctioneer in the world, founded in 1766. It is primarily known for auctioning thoroughbred horses, particularly yearlings and breeding stock, playing a crucial role in the global equestrian industry. What is the fifth book of the Old Testament? Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy is the fifth book of the Old Testament and the final book of the Torah, Pentateuch. It primarily comprises 3 sermons delivered by Moses to the Israelites on the plains of Moab, reiterating and expanding upon the Mosaic law before their entry into the Promised Land. What was the name of the first US satellite, launched the 31st of January 1958? Explorer 1. Explorer 1 was the first artificial satellite launched by the United States, on January 31, 1958, in response to the Soviet Union's Sputnik 1. It carried scientific instrumentation that led to the discovery of the Van Allen radiation belts, a significant early achievement of the US space program. Bertrand Russell was a founder member of which British peace movement organization, established in 1957? CND. Bertrand Russell, a renowned philosopher and pacifist, was a key figure in the Campaign for Nuclear Disarmament, CND, established in 1957. CND advocated for unilateral nuclear disarmament by the UK and for international nuclear disarmament, becoming a significant force in the global peace movement during the Cold War. In Greek mythology, what was the name of the old man who ferried the souls of the dead across the river Styx to Hades? Charon. In Greek mythology, Charon is the ferryman of the dead, responsible for transporting the souls of the deceased across the river Styx, or Acheron, to the underworld, Hades. It was customary for the deceased to be buried with a coin under their tongue to pay Charon for passage. What is the state capital of Queensland, Australia? Brisbane. Brisbane is the capital and most populous city of the Australian state of Queensland. Located on the Brisbane River, it is a major economic, cultural, and administrative hub in northeastern Australia, known for its subtropical climate and vibrant urban life. P is the symbol for which chemical element? Phosphorus. P is the chemical symbol for phosphorus, an essential non-metal element with atomic number 15. It plays a vital role in biological systems, forming part of DNA, RNA, ATP, and phospholipids, and is also crucial in agriculture as a component of fertilizer. The Copenhagen criteria define eligibility for national membership of which organization? The European Union. The Copenhagen criteria are a set of rules defining whether a country is eligible to join the European Union. Established in 1993, they require a stable democracy, functioning market economy, and acceptance of EU laws. What is the traditional Irish finger ring, featuring 2 hands holding a heart surmounted by a crown, often worn to signify romantic status? Cladder ring. The cladder ring is a traditional Irish ring given as a token of friendship, love, or marriage. Its design elements symbolize love, heart, loyalty, crown, and friendship, hands. What is the grammatical term for words such as at, in, of, to, by, under, and with? Preposition. A preposition is a word governing, and usually preceding, a noun or pronoun and expressing a relation to another word or element in the clause. They often indicate direction, time, place, location, or spatial relationships. Acrophobia is the fear of what? Heights. Acrophobia is an intense and irrational fear of heights, a specific type of phobia. Sufferers may experience anxiety attacks when exposed to high places or even thinking about them. Which city serves as the headquarters for the International Red Cross and Red Crescent movement? Geneva. Geneva, Switzerland, is home to the headquarters of the International Red Cross and Red Crescent Movement, a global humanitarian network. It coordinates relief efforts and promotes humanitarian principles worldwide. What country forms the easternmost edge of the Horn of Africa? Somalia. Somalia is a country located in the Horn of Africa, a peninsula in northeast Africa. Its extensive coastline forms the easternmost tip of the continent, bordering the Gulf of Aden and the Indian Ocean. William Rufus was the popular nickname for which English monarch? William II. William II, also known as William Rufus, reigned as King of England from 1087 to 1100. He was the third son of William the Conqueror and was nicknamed Rufus, likely due to his red complexion or red hair. What is the Christian festival, derived from a Greek word meaning 50th day, celebrated on which Sunday? Pentecost. Pentecost is a major Christian festival celebrating the descent of the Holy Spirit upon the apostles and other followers of Jesus Christ. It occurs 50 days after Easter Sunday and is also known as Whit Sunday. What is Edward Hopper's famous nighttime painting of customers in an American diner? Nighthawks. Edward Hopper's Nighthawks, 1942, is an iconic American realist painting depicting four people in a downtown diner late at night. It is renowned for its evocative mood, stark lighting, and themes of isolation and alienation in urban life. On which island did Noel Coward spend the last 23 years of his life? Jamaica. Sir Noel Coward, a prominent English playwright, composer, director, actor, and singer, spent the latter part of his life, from 1956 until his death in 1973, residing in Jamaica. His homes in Jamaica, especially Firefly, became significant cultural hubs and are now popular tourist attractions. Who illustrated Lewis Carroll's Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass? John Tenniel. Sir John Tenniel was the principal illustrator for Lewis Carroll's seminal works, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, 1865, and Through the Looking Glass, 1871. His iconic illustrations are inseparable from the books, defining the visual identity of the characters and the fantastical world for generations. A Hoosier is a native of which American state? Indiana. A Hoosier is the official demonym for a native or resident of the U.S. state of Indiana. The origin of the term is debated, with various theories including local dialect terms or historical anecdotes, but it has been widely adopted and celebrated as a symbol of the state's identity. What is the highest rank of officer in the RAF? Marshal of the Royal Air Force. Marshal of the Royal Air Force, MRAF, is the highest rank in the Royal Air Force, RAF, equivalent to Admiral of the Fleet in the Royal Navy and Field Marshal in the British Army. It is usually held by the Chief of the Defence Staff or as an honorary rank for senior royalty. What famous battle began with the English on Senlac Hill? Battle of Hastings. The Battle of Hastings, fought on October 14, 1066, marked a pivotal moment in English history, leading to the Norman conquest. The English forces, led by King Harold Godwinson, positioned themselves on Senlac Hill, forming a shield wall to defend against William the Conqueror's invading Norman army. What British term equates to the American quarter note in music? Crotchet. In British musical terminology, a crotchet refers to a note that has a duration of one beat in common time, 4 quarters. This is equivalent to what is known as a quarter note in American English and other musical nomenclature systems. What metal, safely used in food coloring, has the E number 175? Gold. Gold, E175, is a rare and expensive food additive primarily used as a surface colorant for confectionery, decorations, and alcoholic beverages. Despite being a metal, it is considered chemically inert and safe for human consumption in the small quantities used for decorative purposes. Which fruit varieties are Almeria, Merlot, and Waltham Cross? Grapes. Almeria and Waltham Cross are popular table grape varieties, known for their distinct flavors and textures. Merlot is primarily a red wine grape, widely cultivated for its use in winemaking globally. Knowledge of fruit varieties is relevant for questions related to agriculture and general science. What three-letter Latin term, commonly used in English, translates literally as road or way? Wire. The Latin term wire directly translates to road or way and is frequently used in English to indicate a route, path, or method, such as sent via email. Understanding common Latin phrases and their etymology helps in comprehending English vocabulary. Helvetia is the female personification of which country, appearing on its coins and stamps? Switzerland. Helvetia is the national personification of Switzerland, a symbolic figure representing the Swiss Confederation and its people. Her image is prominently featured on Swiss coins, stamps, and various national symbols, embodying Swiss national identity and history. Which influential English artist was the subject of the 1974 film, A Bigger Splash? David Hockney. David Hockney is a highly influential English painter, draftsman, printmaker, and photographer, recognized as a significant contributor to the pop art movement of the 1960s. His work often explores themes of everyday life and landscapes, and A Bigger Splash is a well-known documentary about his creative process and personal life. Which bridge connects Dawes Point to Milsons Point? Sydney Harbour Bridge. The Sydney Harbour Bridge is an iconic steel arch bridge spanning Sydney Harbour, linking the central business district, Dawes Point, with the North Shore, Milsons Point. It is a globally recognized landmark and a vital transport artery for vehicular, rail, pedestrian, and bicycle traffic in Sydney, Australia. What is the longest play written by William Shakespeare? Hamlet. William Shakespeare's Hamlet holds the distinction of being his longest play, comprising over 4,000 lines. This tragedy, with its profound exploration of themes like revenge, morality, and existential angst, is considered one of the most influential works in English literature. The Bhagavad Gita is an important scripture of which religion? Hinduism. The Bhagavad Gita, often referred to simply as the Gita, is a revered 700-verse Hindu scripture that forms part of the ancient Indian epic Mahabharata. It offers profound philosophical insights into dharma, devotional yoga, and the path to moksha, liberation, making it a foundational text in Hinduism. Who was President of the USA during World War I? Woodrow Wilson. Woodrow Wilson was the 28th President of the United States, serving from 1913 to 1921. He led the U.S. during World War I and played a crucial role in advocating for the establishment of the League of Nations. The Biobío River is in which South American country? Chile. The Biobío River is one of the most significant rivers in Chile, flowing for approximately 380 kilometers. It is a vital waterway in the south-central part of the country, known for its hydroelectric power and agricultural importance. Which Greek island is said to be the birthplace of the god Apollo? Delos. Delos is a small Greek island in the Aegean Sea, recognized as one of the most important mythological, historical, and archaeological sites in Greece. According to ancient Greek mythology, it is the birthplace of the twin gods Apollo and Artemis. Geophagy is the eating of what? Earth. Geophagy refers to the practice of eating earth or soil-like substances such as clay or chalk. It is observed across various animal species and, in humans, can be a cultural practice, an indicator of nutritional deficiencies, or a form of pica disorder. Cape Canaveral is in which U.S. state? Florida. Cape Canaveral is a prominent cape located in Brevard County, Florida, on the east coast of the United States. It is internationally renowned as the primary launch site for NASA and other space missions, housing the Kennedy Space Center and Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. The late father of Chicago blues, McKinley Morganfield, is better known by what name? Muddy Waters. McKinley Morganfield, universally known as Muddy Waters, was an influential American blues musician. He is widely regarded as the father of Chicago blues, due to his pioneering use of electric guitar and profound impact on blues, rock and roll, and countless musicians. Which king of England defeated the French at the Battle of Agincourt? Henry V. Henry V was King of England from 1413 until his death in 1422. He is celebrated for his decisive victory over the French at the Battle of Agincourt in 1415, a pivotal engagement during the 100 Years' War and a significant moment in English military history. Who was shot dead by Jack McCall in 1876 at a poker table in No. 10 Saloon? Wild Bill Hickok. James Butler, Wild Bill, Hickok was a legendary figure of the American Old West, known as a gunfighter, lawman, and scout. He was famously assassinated in Deadwood, Dakota Territory, while playing poker, an event that cemented his place in frontier law. Nell Gwyn was the mistress of which King of England? Charles II. Nell Gwyn was a prominent English actress and a longtime mistress of King Charles II of England during the Restoration period. Her life exemplifies the social fluidity and cultural vibrancy of 17th century England, making her a notable figure in British social history. What type of weather condition is a harmattan? Wind. The harmattan is a dry, dusty trade wind that blows from the Sahara Desert across West Africa, typically between November and March. It brings cooler temperatures, low humidity, and can significantly reduce visibility due to dust. What type of animal is a quokka? Wallaby. A quokka is a small macropod, belonging to the same family as kangaroos and wallabies, native to specific islands off Western Australia. They are nocturnal herbivores known for their friendly appearance and are often dubbed the world's happiest animal. Tenzin Gyatso is more famously known by what name? The Dalai Lama. Tenzin Gyatso is the 14th and current Dalai Lama, the spiritual leader of Tibetan Buddhism. He is a globally recognized figure known for his advocacy of Tibetan rights, peace, and non-violence, for which he received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1989. What country borders with Belgium, France and Germany? Luxembourg. Luxembourg is a small, landlocked country in Western Europe. It shares its borders with Belgium to the west, France to the south, and Germany to the east, making it a key financial and administrative hub within the European Union. What alcoholic drink is distilled from the agave plant? Tequila. Tequila is a distilled spirit primarily made from the blue agave plant, predominantly in the Mexican state of Jalisco. It is protected by an appellation of origin, meaning genuine tequila can only be produced in specific regions of Mexico. Which British Prime Minister resigned in 1957 after his failure to handle the Suez Crisis? Anthony Eden. Sir Anthony Eden served as the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom from 1955 to 1957. His political career ended amidst the fallout from the Suez Crisis of 1956, a controversial military intervention that drew international condemnation and severely damaged his standing. What is the name of the US President's helicopter? Marine One. Marine One is the call sign of any United States Marine Corps aircraft carrying the President of the United States. This designation ensures strict security protocols and is a widely recognized symbol of the presidential officer's air transport. What does ENT stand for in a hospital department? Ear, nose and throat. ENT is the abbreviation for ear, nose, and throat, representing the medical specialty of otolaryngology. This department focuses on diagnosing and treating conditions related to the head and neck, including sensory organs for hearing, smell, and taste. Vladimir Ulyanov was better known as which political activist and leader? Lenin. Vladimir Ulyanov, famously known as Lenin, was a pivotal Russian revolutionary, politician, and political theorist. He served as the first head of government of Soviet Russia and later of the Soviet Union, leading the Bolshevik Party during the October Revolution. Who was the first king of Rome? Romulus. According to Roman tradition, Romulus was the legendary founder of Rome and its first king. He is credited with establishing the city in 753 BCE and laying down its foundational political and social structures. What is the chemical symbol for diamond? C. Diamond is an allotrope of carbon, meaning it is a different structural form of the same element. Therefore, its chemical symbol is C, representing the element carbon, which is arranged in a crystalline lattice structure. What is the birthstone for January? Garnet. Garnet is the birthstone for January. Chemically, garnets are a group of silicate minerals used since the Bronze Age as gemstones and abrasives. Its name is derived from the Latin, granatum, referring to the pomegranate, due to the resemblance of the red varieties to pomegranate seeds. Holy Island off the English coast is also known by what name? Lindisfarne. Lindisfarne, also known as Holy Island, is a tidal island off the northeast coast of England, significant in early English Christianity. It was the site of a monastery founded by Saint Aidan in 635 AD and became an important center for the spread of Christianity in Anglo-Saxon England. What was the basic monetary unit of Greece before the euro? Drachma. The drachma was the official currency of Greece for thousands of years, with its origins dating back to ancient Greece. It was replaced by the euro on January 1, 2002, when Greece fully adopted the common European currency as part of the European Union's economic integration. Who selected papers on hysteria, translated in 1909 by Abraham Brill, introduced the word libido into English? Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud, the founder of psychoanalysis, significantly contributed to the understanding of the human mind. His Selected Papers on Hysteria, translated in 1909, introduced key psychoanalytic concepts like libido into the English language, influencing psychology and cultural discourse. What was the name of the mythical sculptor who fell in love with the statue of a woman he carved, as told by Roman poet Ovid, and inspiring George Bernard Shaw's play of the same name? Pygmalion. Pygmalion is a figure from Greek mythology, a sculptor who created a statue of a woman so beautiful that he fell in love with it. The goddess Aphrodite brought the statue, named Galata, to life. This myth, notably retold by Ovid, has inspired numerous works of art and literature, including George Bernard Shaw's play, Pygmalion. Who famously said in the witness box, well, he would, wouldn't he, when told that Viscount Astor denied having an affair with her, in relation to the 1963 Profumo scandal. Mandy Rice Davies. The Profumo affair, 1963, was a British political scandal involving John Profumo, the Secretary of State for War, and Christine Keeler. Mandy Rice Davies, a key figure in the scandal, uttered this memorable quote when told Lord Astor denied an affair, effectively exposing the hypocrisy of the British establishment. What language is Jeg elsker dig? Danish. Jeg elsker dig is a common phrase in Danish, directly translating to I love you. Danish is a North Germanic language spoken primarily in Denmark and by Danes in southern Schleswig, Germany. Bessie Wallace Warfield became better known as whom? Wallace, Duchess of Windsor. Bessie Wallace Warfield, an American socialite, is historically known as Wallace Simpson, and later Wallace, Duchess of Windsor. Her relationship with King Edward VIII led to his abdication in 1936, causing a significant constitutional crisis within the British monarchy. In what city is the Venus de Milo statue displayed? Paris. The Venus de Milo, an ancient Greek marble statue, is one of the most famous works of ancient Greek sculpture. It is prominently displayed at the Louvre Museum in Paris, France. Who is the Greek god of the marriage ceremony? Hymen. In ancient Greek mythology, Hymen was the god of marriage ceremonies, inspiring nuptial songs. He was often depicted as a beautiful youth carrying a bridal torch. What part of the male anatomy takes its name from a literal meaning of bearing witness to masculinity? Testicles. The word testicle originates from the Latin testiculus, a diminutive of testis, meaning witness. This etymology reflects the historical role of these organs in demonstrating male virility and often in legal oaths. What word meaning vanity derives from the fallen Greek god who perished while transfixed by his reflection in a pool of water? Narcissism. The term narcissism is derived from the Greek myth of Narcissus, a youth who fell in love with his own reflection in a pool of water. He eventually perished, fixated on his image, giving rise to the psychological concept of excessive self-admiration and vanity. Dendrophilia is the tendency to be aroused by what? Trees. Dendrophilia is a paraphilia characterized by sexual attraction or arousal by trees. This term is derived from Greek words, dendron, meaning tree, and philia, meaning love or attraction. What term, derived from Greek words meaning many, and man, refers to a form of marriage where a woman has more than one husband simultaneously? Polyandry. Polyandry is a specific form of polygamy where a woman has multiple husbands concurrently. This social practice is found in various cultures worldwide, often linked to economic conditions, land inheritance, or population control. In psychiatry, what syndrome, named after a Shakespearean character, describes a delusional belief in a partner's infidelity? Othello syndrome. Othello syndrome, also known as delusional jealousy or morbid jealousy, is a psychiatric condition where a person is irrationally convinced of their partner's unfaithfulness. It is named after William Shakespeare's tragic play, Othello, where the protagonist's unfounded jealousy leads to a tragic outcome. How were the parents of Cleopatra VII, the most famous Egyptian queen, related to each other, in addition to being husband and wife? Brother and sister. Cleopatra VII Philopator was a member of the Ptolemaic dynasty, which ruled Egypt after the death of Alexander the Great. It was a common practice within this Hellenistic royal family, as well as some other ancient monarchies, for siblings to marry to maintain the purity of their bloodline and consolidate power. Whose tale in Geoffrey Chaucer's The Canterbury Tales features a knight tasked by his queen to discover what women most desire? The Wife of Bath. The Wife of Bath's prologue and tale are central to The Canterbury Tales, offering a complex view on marriage, sexuality, and gender roles in medieval society. Her tale specifically addresses the theme of female sovereignty, concluding that women most desire control over their own lives and husbands. Who was the first Tudor king of England? Henry VII. Henry VII established the Tudor dynasty after his victory at the Battle of Bosworth Field in 1485, ending the Wars of the Roses. His reign brought stability and laid the foundations for a strong monarchy in England. What color is the gemstone kunzite? Lilac. Kunzite is a pink to lilac-colored gemstone, a variety of spodumene, known for its pleochroism. It is often used in jewelry and is named after mineralogist George Kunz. What title, from French, Italian, Arabic etymology meaning trench, spadework, tunnel, is commonly held by a non-ranking soldier in an engineer regiment? Sapper. A sapper is a military engineer who performs tasks such as building and repairing fortifications, roads, and bridges, as well as demining. The term derives from the French word, saper, referring to the practice of digging trenches to approach enemy fortifications. In what year was the Sex Discrimination Act passed in the UK? 1975. The Sex Discrimination Act 1975 in the UK made it illegal to discriminate against individuals on the grounds of sex or marital status in employment, training, education, and the provision of goods, facilities, and services. It was a landmark piece of legislation promoting gender equality. During the siege of which African city did General Gordon die? Khartoum. General Charles George Gordon, known as Gordon of Khartoum, died during the siege of Khartoum in 1885. This event was a major episode in British imperial history, where Mahdist forces captured the city and killed the British commander, leading to significant political fallout in Britain. What type of creature is a gadwall? A duck. A gadwall, Anas strepa, is a common and widespread dabbling duck found in North America, Europe, and Asia. It inhabits wetlands, marshes, and shallow lakes. What date of the year is Burns Night? 25th of January. Burns Night is an annual celebration of the life and poetry of Robert Burns, Scotland's national poet, held on January 25, his birthday. The event typically includes a Burns supper with haggis, whiskey, and readings of his works. Which 16th century German astronomer was reputed to have sold his soul to the devil? Johann Faust. Johann Faust is a legendary figure in German folklore, an astrologer and magician who purportedly made a pact with the devil. This legend has profoundly influenced Western literature and culture, most notably inspiring Johann Wolfgang von Goethe's dramatic poem, Faust. What is the second book of the Bible's Old Testament? Exodus. Exodus is the second book of the Hebrew Bible and the Old Testament of the Christian Bible. It recounts the story of the Israelites' liberation from slavery in Egypt under the leadership of Moses and their journey to Mount Sinai, where they received the Ten Commandments. Who in Greek mythology fell in love with his own reflection? Narcissus. In Greek mythology, Narcissus was a hunter of extraordinary beauty who spurned all potential lovers, including the nymph Echo. As a divine punishment, he was condemned to fall in love with his own reflection in a pool of water, eventually leading to his demise and transformation into a flower. What are Musaphobes afraid of? Mice. Musaphobia is the specific phobia characterized by an intense and irrational fear of mice. Phobias are a type of anxiety disorder where an individual experiences extreme dread or panic in response to a particular object or situation. How many strings does a ukulele have? 4. A ukulele is a small, 4-stringed, plucked musical instrument that originated in Hawaii. It belongs to the lute family and is known for its distinctively cheerful sound, commonly strung with nylon strings. Which author died at Astapovo railway station in 1910? Leo Tolstoy. Leo Tolstoy, one of the greatest Russian authors renowned for works like War and Peace and Anna Karenina, died of pneumonia at Astapovo railway station in 1910. His death occurred during a personal pilgrimage, marking the end of a life dedicated to literature and moral philosophy. What does a copperclephalist collect? Keyrings. A copperclephalist is an individual who collects keyrings or keychains. This hobby, like other forms of collecting, often involves seeking unique, historical, or thematic items related to these small, decorative objects. Mount Vinson Massif is the highest peak in which continent? Antarctica. Mount Vinson Massif is the highest mountain in Antarctica, located in the Sentinel Range of the Ellsworth Mountains. Its summit is 4,892 meters, 16,050 feet, above sea level, making it one of the 7 summits, the highest peaks on each of the 7 continents. Who was appointed the first woman cabinet minister in the UK? Margaret Bonfield. Margaret Bonfield was a pioneering British politician and trade unionist. In 1929, she became the first woman cabinet minister in the United Kingdom, serving as Minister of Labour in Ramsay MacDonald's second Labour government. Her appointment marked a significant milestone for women in politics. Alicante, Golden Boy, and Piranto are varieties of what? Tomato. Alicante, Golden Boy, and Piranto are specific cultivars or varieties of tomatoes, commonly cultivated for their distinct characteristics in flavor, size, and growth habits. Tomatoes are a widely consumed fruit, botanically classified as a berry, and known for their nutritional value. Who wrote the novel Bonfire of the Vanities? Tom Wolfe. The Bonfire of the Vanities is a 1987 novel by American author Tom Wolfe. The satirical novel critically examines ambition, racism, social class, and greed in 1980s New York City, becoming a major bestseller and a defining work of the era. How many square yards are in a British acre? 4,840. An acre is a unit of land area commonly used in the imperial system and is legally defined as 4,840 square yards. Historically, its definition was related to the area a yoked pair of oxen could plow in one day. What are kept in an apiary? Bees. An apiary is a location where beehives of honey bees are kept, typically by a beekeeper. These sites are crucial for honey production, pollination services for agriculture, and the study of bee behavior and ecology. What poisonous chemical element has the atomic number 33? Arsenic. Arsenic, is a metalloid with atomic number 33, known for its extreme toxicity. It has been historically used in poisons and pesticide, and its presence in groundwater is a significant environmental and health concern globally. Which country has the longest coastline? Canada. Canada boasts the world's longest coastline, stretching over 243,042 kilometers, including its numerous islands. This extensive coastline is a result of its vast Arctic archipelago and numerous inlets along its Atlantic and Pacific shores, making it a critical aspect of its geography and economy. What fish family is the anchovy a member of? Herring. Anchovies belong to the family Engraulidae, which is closely related to the herring family, Clypeaidae. Both are small, oily, forage fish that play a crucial role in marine ecosystems as a food source for larger predators and are commercially important for human consumption. Who was the first person to cross the English Channel in a plane? Louis Blériot. Louis Blériot, a French aviator, made history on July 25, 1909, by becoming the first person to fly an aircraft across the English Channel. His successful flight in the Blériot 11 monoplane from Calais to Dover marked a significant milestone in early aviation, demonstrating the potential of air travel. How many gun firings salute the Queen's birthday at the Tower of London? 62. The Queen's official birthday is marked by a 62-gun salute fired from the Tower of London. This special salute combines the traditional 21 rounds for a royal salute with an additional 20 rounds for being fired from a royal park. The tower is considered a royal palace and fortress, plus another 21 for being in the City of London. What nationality was the artist Edvard Munch? Norwegian. Edvard Munch, 1863–1944, was a celebrated Norwegian symbolist painter whose intensely evocative works were highly influential in the development of Expressionism. He is most famous for his iconic painting, The Scream, which depicts a tormented figure against a dramatic, swirling sky. Munich is on which river? Isar. Munich, the capital and most populous city of the German state of Bavaria, is situated on the banks of the Isar River. The Isar is a tributary of the Danube and flows through the city, contributing to its landscape and providing recreational opportunities. In which Bavarian town is the Passion Play performed every 10 years? Oberammergau. The world-renowned Oberammergau Passion Play is performed every 10 years in the Bavarian village of Oberammergau, Germany. Its origins trace back to 1634, when the villagers vowed to perform the play if they were spared from the bubonic plague, a tradition that continues to draw international audiences. What is Hansen's disease commonly known as? Leprosy. Hansen's disease is the official name for leprosy, a chronic infectious disease caused by the bacterium Mycobacterium leprae. It primarily affects the skin, peripheral nerves, upper respiratory tract, eyes, and testes, and is treatable with multi-drug therapy. What does a hygrometer measure? Humidity. A hygrometer is an instrument used to measure the amount of water vapor in the atmosphere, commonly known as humidity. This measurement is crucial in meteorology, industrial processes, and for maintaining optimal conditions in environments like museums or greenhouses. What is a sequence of letters called which reads the same backwards as forwards? Palindrome. A palindrome is a word, number, phrase, or sequence of characters that reads the same forwards and backward. Common examples include, Madam, Reska, or the date, the 2nd of February 2020. Palindromes are often featured in word puzzles and mathematical curiosities. Who was the first wife of poet Ted Hughes, who ended her life in 1963? Sylvia Plath. Sylvia Plath, 1932–1963, was an influential American poet, novelist, and short story writer. She is best known for her confessional poetry, exploring themes of despair, nature, and the female experience, and for her semi-autobiographical novel *The Bell Jar*. Plath's tragic life and work remain subjects of extensive literary study. Who composed the Funeral March Sonata? Frédéric Chopin. Frédéric Chopin, 1810–1849, was a Polish composer and virtuoso pianist of the Romantic era. His Funeral March is the third movement of his Piano Sonata No. 2 in B-flat minor, Opus 35, composed in 1839. This iconic piece is widely recognized and frequently performed at solemn occasions. What is a choli? A midriff bearing borders worn with a sari. A choli is a traditional short-sleeved or sleeveless bodice worn in various parts of South Asia. It is typically paired with a sari, lehenga, or ghagra, covering the torso and often exposing the midriff. The choli is an integral part of traditional Indian and South Asian attire. Ignatius of Loyola, 1491 to 1556, founded what religious order? The Society of Jesus. Ignatius of Loyola, a Spanish Catholic priest, founded the Society of Jesus, commonly known as the Jesuits, in 1540. This religious order played a crucial role in the Counter-Reformation, focusing on education, missionary work, and intellectual pursuits. The Jesuits have established numerous colleges and universities worldwide. Leslie poles were the first names of which writer, whose works included The Go-Between? L. P. Hartley. L. P. Hartley, 1895 to 1972, was a British novelist and short story writer, best known for his novel *The Go-Between, 1953. The novel explores themes of social class, innocence, and betrayal, and is famous for its opening line, "The past is a foreign country, they do things differently there." Hartley's works often feature complex psychological insights. In which city is Hell Gate Bridge, said to have inspired Sydney Harbour Bridge? New York. The Hell Gate Bridge is a 1,017-foot steel arch railroad bridge in New York City, crossing the Hell Gate Strait of the East River. Completed in 1916, it was a marvel of engineering for its time and indeed served as an inspiration for the design of several other major bridges, including the Sydney Harbour Bridge in Australia. It remains an active railway bridge today. The Bessemer process was invented in 1856 for the production of what material? Steel. The Bessemer process, developed by Henry Bessemer in 1856, was the first inexpensive industrial process for the mass production of steel from molten pig iron. This innovation revolutionized steelmaking, drastically reducing its cost and making it widely available for construction, railways, and machinery. It was a key driver of the Second Industrial Revolution. Which U.S. poet wrote the Star-Spangled Banner? Francis Scott Key. Francis Scott Key was an American lawyer, author, and amateur poet who wrote the lyrics to The Star-Spangled Banner. He penned the poem in 1814 after witnessing the bombardment of Fort McHenry during the War of 1812. It officially became the national anthem of the United States in 1931. What is the basic monetary unit of Morocco? Dirham. The Moroccan dirham is the official currency of Morocco, issued by Bank Al-Maghrib, the central bank of Morocco. It is commonly used for all financial transactions within the country and is also the de facto currency in Western Sahara. Sentenced to death at the Nuremberg trials, which former chief of the Luftwaffe took cyanide the night before his scheduled hanging? Hermann Göring. Hermann Göring was a prominent leader of the Nazi Party and commander-in-chief of the Luftwaffe during World War II. Convicted of war crimes and crimes against humanity at the Nuremberg trials, he committed suicide by cyanide in 1946, hours before his scheduled execution. How many pairs of chromosomes does a human being typically have? 23. Humans typically possess 23 pairs of chromosomes, resulting in a total of 46 chromosomes in each somatic cell. These include 22 pairs of autosomes, which carry genetic information for general traits, and one pair of sex chromosomes, XX for females, XY for males, which determine an individual's biological sex. Which American writer won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1954? Ernest Hemingway. Ernest Hemingway, a celebrated American novelist and short story writer, received the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1954. The award recognized his masterful narrative style, exemplified by works like The Old Man and the Sea, and his significant influence on contemporary prose. The Tamil Tigers were a rebel force in which country? Sri Lanka. The Liberation Tigers of Tamil Eelam, LTTE, commonly known as the Tamil Tigers, was a militant organization that aimed to establish an independent Tamil state in northern and eastern Sri Lanka. They were involved in a protracted civil war against the Sri Lanka government from 1983 until their defeat in 2009. In Greek mythology, which king was condemned to stand near fruit and water which moved away when he reached for them? Tantalus. In Greek mythology, Tantalus was a king subjected to an eternal punishment in the underworld. He was made to stand in a pool of water under a fruit tree, yet whenever he attempted to drink, the water receded, and when he reached for fruit, the branches moved out of his grasp, leading to the origin of the word, tantalize. In 2005, Yulia Tymoshenko became the first female prime minister of which country? Ukraine. Yulia Tymoshenko served as the Prime Minister of Ukraine for 2 terms, first in 2005 and again from 2007 to 2010. She is notable for being the first and only woman to hold the prime ministerial position in Ukraine's history. Palermo is the capital of which island? Sicily. Palermo is the capital city of Sicily, the largest island in the Mediterranean Sea and an autonomous region of Italy. It is renowned for its rich history, culture, and architecture, reflecting its diverse past under various dominations. Fucus is a type of what? Seaweed. Fucus is a genus of brown algae, commonly known as rockweeds or racks, found in intertidal zones of rocky shores. These seaweeds are significant primary producers in marine ecosystems and are sometimes used in food and fertilizer. The Irish city of Limerick is located on which river? Shannon. Limerick, a major city in Ireland, is situated on the River Shannon, the longest river in Ireland. The river plays a crucial role in the city's history, economy, and culture, providing a vital waterway to the Atlantic Ocean. What is a mazurka? A Polish folk dance. The mazurka is a traditional Polish folk dance that originated in the Mazovia region of Poland. Characterized by its lively tempo, triple meter, and distinctive rhythmic patterns, it gained popularity throughout Europe in the 19th century and influenced classical composers like Frédéric Chopin. What color is the flesh of a lychee? White. The lychee, Lychee chinensis, is a tropical fruit native to China, known for its sweet, fragrant taste. Its translucent white flesh is typically eaten fresh and surrounds a single dark seed, enclosed by a rough, red, inedible peel. A hendecagon is a plane figure with how many straight sides? 11. A hendecagon, also known as an undecagon, is a polygon with 11 straight sides and 11 angles. It is a fundamental concept in geometry, part of the broader study of two-dimensional shapes. The Stasi were the secret police of which country? East Germany. The Stasi, formerly known as the Ministry for State Security, Ministerium für Staatssicherheit, was the official state security service of East Germany, German Democratic Republic. It was one of the most effective and repressive intelligence and secret police agencies in the world, known for its extensive surveillance and network of informers, operating from 1950 until the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989. In which English county is Windsor Castle? Berkshire. Windsor Castle is one of the official residences of the British monarch, situated in the county of Berkshire, England. It is the longest occupied palace in Europe, holding significant historical and cultural importance. Le Brabançon is the national anthem of which European country? Belgium. Le Brabançon is the national anthem of Belgium, a European country known for its trilingual identity, Dutch, French, and German. The anthem reflects the country's national pride and historical struggles for independence. What date is St. Swithin's Day? July 15th. St. Swithin's Day is traditionally observed on July 15th, commemorating the Anglo-Saxon Bishop of Winchester, Saint Swithin. Folklore suggests that the weather on this day will determine the weather for the next 40 days. What was the Italian cruise liner hijacked by terrorists in October 1985? Achille Lauro. The Achille Lauro was an Italian cruise liner hijacked by 4 members of the Palestine Liberation Front, PLF, in October 1985. The incident, occurring off the coast of Egypt, tragically resulted in the murder of an American Jewish passenger and caused an international crisis. Which Shakespeare play features in the Cole Porter musical, Kiss Me, Kate? Taming of the Shrew. Cole Porter's renowned musical, Kiss Me, Kate, is a play within a play, drawing its narrative inspiration from William Shakespeare's comedy, The Taming of the Shrew. The musical explores the offstage and onstage conflicts of a divorced acting couple performing Shakespeare's work. In which country is the port of Dakar? Senegal. Dakar is the capital and largest city of Senegal, an important West African nation. Situated on the Cape Verde Peninsula, it serves as a major regional port and a significant economic and cultural hub. Which English cartoonist created the Saint Trinian schoolgirls? Ronald Searle. Ronald Searle was an acclaimed English cartoonist and comic artist, best known for his iconic creation, the Saint Trinian School series. These satirical cartoons depicted a boarding school of anarchic and mischievous girls, gaining widespread popularity and inspiring several film adaptations. What can sufferers of prosopagnosia not recognize? Faces. Prosopagnosia, commonly known as face blindness, is a neurological disorder characterized by an inability to recognize familiar faces. Individuals with this condition may struggle to identify people they know, including family members, despite having normal vision and cognitive functions. Which World War II leader was nicknamed the Desert Fox? Rommel. Erwin Rommel was a German field marshal during World War II, renowned for his leadership of the Afrika Korps. His tactical brilliance in desert warfare earned him the moniker Desert Fox. Who was the first socialist president of France? François Mitterrand. François Mitterrand served as president of France from 1981 to 1995, becoming the first socialist president of the Fifth Republic. His presidency saw significant social reforms and a period of cohabitation with conservative governments. Grenache is a variety of which fruit? Grape. Grenache is one of the most widely planted red wine grape varieties in the world, originating from Spain. It is known for producing full-bodied, fruit-forward wines, often with notes of red fruit and spice. Who was wife to Henry II and mother of Richard the Lionheart and King John? Eleanor of Aquitaine. Eleanor of Aquitaine was one of the most powerful and influential women of the Middle Ages. She was Queen of France, as wife to Louis VII, and later Queen of England, as wife to Henry II, and mother to 2 English kings, Richard the Lionheart and King John. Which zoologist was portrayed by Sigourney Weaver in the 1988 film Gorillas in the Mist? Dian Fossey. Dian Fossey was an American primatologist who conducted extensive research on mountain gorillas in Rwanda. Her groundbreaking work and conservation efforts were crucial in understanding and protecting these endangered species. Which Native American leader's real name was Goethe? Geronimo. Geronimo, whose birth name was Goethe, was a prominent leader and medicine man of the Apache tribe. He led his people in resisting the United States and Mexican military expansion into Apache lands for over 30 years. Titan and Ganymede are what in our solar system? Moons. Titan is the largest moon of Saturn, known for its dense atmosphere and liquid methane lakes. Ganymede is the largest moon of Jupiter and the largest moon in the solar system, even larger than the planet Mercury. Which English county is known locally as Kurnow? Cornwall. Cornwall is a county in southwest England, uniquely known by its Cornish name, Kurnow. This regional identifier reflects its distinct Celtic heritage and language, which are important aspects of its cultural geography and identity. Who was the last surviving of the literary Bronte sisters? Charlotte. Charlotte Bronte, renowned for her novel, Jane Eyre, was the last surviving among the three prominent literary Bronte sisters, Charlotte, Emily, and Annie. Their collective works are foundational to English literature, making this a significant point in literary history. In which year was the Wall Street crash? 1929. The Wall Street crash, often referred to as Black Tuesday, occurred in October 1929. This catastrophic event is widely considered the start of the Great Depression, a severe worldwide economic depression in the decade leading up to World War II. In a theater, what is the job of a visagist? Makeup artist. A visagist is a professional makeup artist, particularly specialized in facial makeup, often working in fields such as theater, film, or fashion. This term highlights specialized roles within performing arts and cultural industries. In Greek mythology, what is a nymph called who inhabits a wood or a tree? Dryad. In Greek mythology, a dryad is a type of nymph specifically associated with trees and woods. Dryads are personifications of trees and are integral figures in ancient Greek folklore and beliefs, embodying the spirit of nature. GBJ is the international vehicle registration for where? Jersey. GBJ is the international vehicle registration code assigned to Jersey, one of the Channel Islands. These codes are part of international conventions used for identifying countries and dependent territories, relevant for geographical and administrative knowledge. What is the fruit of the blackthorn, Prunus spinosa? Sloe. The sloe is the small, dark blue-purple fruit produced by the blackthorn bush, Prunus spinosa. Known for its extremely tart taste, the sloe is traditionally used in making sloe gin and various preserves, illustrating a relevant botanical fact. What would a silkworm grow to become if permitted to do so? Silk moth. A silkworm is the larva of the silk moth, an insect known for spinning cocoons of silk. The process of rearing silkworms for silk production is called sericulture, an important agricultural industry. The Domesday Book was made by order of which English monarch? William I. The Domesday Book was a comprehensive survey of England commissioned by William I, William the Conqueror, in 1085 and completed in 1086. It served as a detailed record of land ownership, resources, and value for administrative and tax purposes after the Norman conquest. What is the medical condition in which a person has an extreme tendency to fall asleep at inappropriate times? Narcolepsy. Narcolepsy is a chronic neurological condition characterized by overwhelming daytime sleepiness and sudden attacks of sleep. It results from the brain's inability to regulate sleep-wake cycles normally, often accompanied by cataplexy, a sudden loss of muscle tone. Who wrote the novel The Murders in the Rue Morgue? Edgar Allan Poe. The Murders in the Rue Morgue is a short story by Edgar Allan Poe, first published in 1841. It is widely regarded as the first modern detective story, introducing the fictional detective C. Auguste Dupin and pioneering the genre of ratiocination. In the US and Canada, Labor Day falls on the first Monday of which month? September. Labor Day is a public holiday in the United States and Canada celebrated on the first Monday of September. It honors the contributions and achievements of workers to society and the economy, marking the unofficial end of summer. What was the name and call sign of the Apollo 11 lunar module? Eagle. The Apollo 11 lunar module, which carried Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin to the moon's surface in July 1969, was named Eagle. Its call sign was widely broadcast during the historic first human landing on the lunar surface. What is the chemical formula of snow? H2O. Snow is a form of precipitation composed of ice crystals. Chemically, it is water in its solid state, and thus shares the same chemical formula, H2O, as liquid water and ice. What did US President Franklin Pierce introduce to White House Christmas tradition in 1856? The Christmas tree. President Franklin Pierce is often credited with introducing the first Christmas tree to the White House in 1856. This marked the beginning of a cherished tradition that has been observed by subsequent presidents and their families. Which red blooming plant, often associated with Christmas, originated from Mexico? Poinsettia. The poinsettia, Euphorbia pulcherrima, is a popular ornamental plant, especially during the Christmas season, known for its vibrant red and green foliage. Native to Mexico, it was introduced to the United States in the early 19th century by Joel Roberts Poinsett. Brandy is produced by distilling which alcoholic beverage? Wine. Brandy is a spirit produced by distilling wine, a beverage made from fermented grapes. This distillation process concentrates the alcohol and flavors, often followed by aging in wooden casks to develop its characteristic taste and color. Quaid-e-Azam's birthday, celebrated on December 25, is a national holiday in which country? Pakistan. Quaid-e-Azam, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, was the founder of Pakistan and its first Governor-General. His birthday on December 25 is observed as a national holiday in Pakistan, commemorating his pivotal role in the country's creation and independence. What was the name of the tropical cyclone that devastated Darwin, Australia, on Christmas Day in 1974? Cyclone Tracy. Cyclone Tracy was a devastating tropical cyclone that struck Darwin, Australia, on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day in 1974. It caused widespread destruction, flattened a significant portion of the city, and led to a massive evacuation, making it one of Australia's most severe natural disasters. Pine needles are considered a good source of which essential vitamin? Vitamin C. Pine needles are known to contain significant amounts of vitamin C, ascorbic acid, an important antioxidant vital for immune function and collagen synthesis. This made them a historical remedy for scurvy, particularly in regions where other vitamin C sources were scarce. What creature, noted for feeding on its berries, is linked by name to the mistletoe plant? Missel thrush. The missel thrush, Turdus vicivorus, is named for its diet, which heavily includes the berries of the mistletoe plant. This bird plays a vital ecological role by aiding in the dispersal of mistletoe seeds through its droppings, facilitating the plant's spread. Which poem written by Clement Moore was originally titled A Visit from St. Nicholas? The Night Before Christmas. A Visit from St. Nicholas, widely recognized as The Night Before Christmas, is a seminal American poem attributed to Clement Clarke Moore. First published anonymously in 1823, it significantly shaped the modern image and folklore surrounding Santa Claus and Christmas traditions. What celebratory receptacle is falsely claimed to have been modeled on the breast of Marie Antoinette? Champagne coupe. The champagne coupe is a classic stemmed glass with a broad, shallow bowl traditionally used for serving champagne. Despite a popular but unsubstantiated legend suggesting its shape was modeled on the breast of Marie Antoinette, This design predates her by over a century, likely originating in England in the mid-17th century. What British spacecraft was lost on Mars at Christmas 2003? Beagle 2. Beagle 2 was a British Mars lander, part of the European Space Agency Mars Express mission. It was declared lost after failing to communicate upon its intended landing on Mars on December 25, 2003. Its fate remained unknown until 2015 when it was located on the surface by NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter. American cartoonist Thomas Nast is credited with creating the traditional image of which popular Christmas character? Santa Claus. Thomas Nast, a prominent 19th-century American political cartoonist, played a crucial role in shaping the modern image of Santa Claus. His illustrations, particularly those published in Harper's Weekly from the 1860s, popularized the depiction of Santa as a jolly, plump man with a white beard, often wearing a red suit. Born Christmas Day 1908, by what name was gay icon author of The Naked Civil Servant popularly known? Quentin Crisp. Quentin Crisp was an English writer, raconteur, and actor, renowned for his flamboyant personality and his memoir, The Naked Civil Servant, published in 1968. This autobiography detailed his struggles as an openly gay man in conservative England and became a significant work in LGBTQ+ literature. What is a baby turkey more correctly called, other than a chick? Poult. In zoology, a young turkey is specifically referred to as a poult, distinguishing it from a chick, which is a general term for a young bird. This term is primarily used for young domestic fowl, particularly turkeys and pheasants, before they reach maturity. Le Befana is the legendary character who delivers Christmas presents to children in which country? Italy. Le Befana is an important figure in Italian folklore, an old woman who delivers gifts to children on the eve of the Epiphany, January 5th. According to tradition, she flies on her broomstick, sweeping the house and leaving candy for good children and coal for naughty ones. In technical astronomical terms, what is the duration of the winter solstice? An instant, a day, 3 months, or 6 months? An instant. In technical astronomical terms, the winter solstice refers to the exact instant when the sun reaches its southernmost point in the sky, marking the shortest day of the year in the northern hemisphere. While the day of the solstice is commonly observed, the event itself is a precise moment of celestial alignment. Kiritimati, the first inhabited place to experience each new year, is more commonly known as what? Christmas Island. Christmas Island, also known as Kiritimati, is the world's largest coral atoll by land area, located in the Pacific Ocean and part of the Republic of Kiribati. Due to its unique geographical position just west of the international date line, it is among the first inhabited places globally to welcome the new day and, consequently, the new year. In which city was the Salvation Army founded? London. The Salvation Army is an international charitable and religious organization, founded in London, England, in 1865 by William Booth, a Methodist minister. It is known for its extensive social welfare work, providing humanitarian aid, disaster relief, and operating numerous charity shops and community centers worldwide. In which country is it a tradition to hide all brooms in the house on Christmas Eve? Norway. In Norway, an ancient tradition on Christmas Eve involves hiding all brooms and cleaning tools in the house. This custom stems from the belief that witches and evil spirits emerge on Christmas Eve and might steal brooms to ride them through the night, hence hiding them prevents such occurrences. Which US president banned Christmas trees from the White House? Theodore Roosevelt. President Theodore Roosevelt, a prominent conservationist, famously banned Christmas trees from the White House in 1901. His decision was rooted in his commitment to environmental preservation and discouraging the cutting down of trees, although the tradition was later reinstated. How many dishes are traditionally served in a Ukrainian Christmas Eve supper, Svita Vecheria? 12. The Ukrainian Christmas Eve supper, known as Svita Vecheria, traditionally consists of 12 meatless dishes. This number symbolizes the 12 apostles and is a significant cultural and religious tradition observed on January 6, preceding Christmas Day on January 7 in the Orthodox calendar. From which Latin root does the month of December derive its name? 10. From decem. The month of December derives its name from the Latin word decem, meaning 10. In the ancient Roman calendar, prior to the Julian reform, December was the 10th month of the year.